May I know what you're doing here? The principal asks, with a tone that borders on hostility. James squeezes Michelle's hand tighter. Both wear simple but clean clothes. The principal, a white woman in her 50s, crosses her arms while examining them from head to toe. "We're here for the parents' meeting," James responds, keeping his voice calm. "Parents' meeting?" The principal furrows her brow. "Are you sure you're in the right place?" Michelle steps forward, firm voice. "Our daughter, Sophia Williams, studies here. Senior year." The principal blinks, surprised. Her eyes scan the couple's clothes again. "Sophia Williams," she murmurs, as if the name doesn't make sense. "You are her parents?" "Yes, we are," James confirms. "Is there a problem?" The principal forces a tense smile. "Problem? No, of course not. It's just, well, normally parents notify us when they're attending." "Did you notify us?" "The invitation said all parents were welcome," Michelle responds. "I didn't know we needed special authorization." The principal guides them through the main hallway. Other parents, all white and visibly wealthy, stop their conversations to observe the couple. "This way," the principal indicates, walking too fast. James and Michelle exchange glances. A mother pulls her designer purse closer to her body as they pass. "Darling," a father whispers to his wife. "Do you know them?" "Never seen them," she responds, not bothering to lower her voice. The principal stops abruptly. "You know, perhaps it would be better if you waited in the reception area. I'll check if everything is in order with Sophia's enrollment." "Her enrollment is perfectly in order," James responds. Controlled tone. "We've paid on time for 3 years." "Yes, of course, but procedures, you understand." The principal gestures vaguely. "It's for everyone's safety." "Safety?" Michelle questions. "Are we a threat to safety?" In the auditorium, parents are already seated. The principal leads them to the back rows. "You can sit here." She indicates chairs in the farthest corner. "We'd prefer to sit closer to the front," James says. "We have trouble seeing from far away." "Oh, but—" The principal hesitates. "Those seats are already reserved. All the front seats are clearly empty." "Reserved for whom?" Michelle asks. "For the board parents. Important parents." The principal emphasizes the last word. A group of students passes by them. A blonde girl whispers to her friend, "Those are Sophia's parents. Can you believe it? How did she even get in here?" The other responds. James clenches his fists, but Michelle gently touches his arm. "Let's sit where the principal suggested," she says softly. "For now." Emotional tone. The principal smiles, relieved, not noticing Michelle's "for now." "Great. I'm glad you understand. You know how it is, we all need to know our place, right?" The couple sits in silence. James embraces Michelle, who has tears in her eyes. "We're doing this for Sophie," she whispers. "I know," he responds. "But how long will we accept this?" The meeting is about to begin, and they are the only black parents in a sea of white faces staring at them with curiosity and disdain. The principal takes the stage. Her voice echoes through the auditorium. "Welcome, dear parents. As always, it's a pleasure to receive the families who are part of our exclusive community." James notices how she emphasizes exclusive while looking directly at them. "Today we'll discuss prom and the seniors' international trip. As you know, we maintain our traditions of excellence." A mother raises her hand. "Principal Hartwell, about the prom contribution. Is the $75,000 per student still maintained?" Michelle chokes. James squeezes her hand. "$75,000? Michelle whispers. "Yes, Mrs. Vanderbilt," the principal responds. "It's the minimum to maintain Preston Academy standards." Murmurs of approval echo through the auditorium. "And I expect all parents to contribute," the principal continues, looking toward the back of the room. "After all, we don't want any student to feel out of place." During the break, James and Michelle remain seated while other parents circulate with champagne glasses. A woman approaches, It's Victoria Vanderbilt, the mother who asked about prom. "You're Sophia Williams's parents?" she asks, analyzing them. "Yes," Michelle responds. "Interesting." Victoria takes a sip of champagne. "She's on scholarship, isn't she?" "How inspiring." "Sophia is not on scholarship," James corrects. "We pay full tuition." Victoria laughs, a sharp, unpleasant sound. "Really? How unlikely?" Pause. "You must make many sacrifices." "We do what's necessary for our daughter's education," Michelle responds, maintaining her dignity. Of course." Victoria moves away. "I just hope she knows how to take advantage of this unique opportunity." Condescending tone. Michelle gets up to go to the bathroom. Upon entering, two mothers are talking near the sink. "I can't believe they let them in," one says. "The school is changing," the other laments. "Soon they'll want affirmative action and all that." "Their daughter does try hard," the first continues. "But you know how it is? Genetics." Michelle enters a stall, her hands trembling. The women continue. "Blake told me she wants to go to medical school. Can you believe it?" "Medical school?" The other laughs. "They always dream too big." Michelle exits the stall abruptly. The women fall silent. "Excuse me," Michelle says, washing her hands slowly. The women leave hurriedly. Michelle looks at her reflection in the mirror. A tear runs down her face. James waits for Michelle outside. He notices her red eyes. "What happened?" "Nothing we haven't heard before," she responds. Principal Hartwell approaches with another couple. "Mr. and Mrs. Williams," she calls. "We need to talk. In private." She leads them to a smaller room. The other couple accompanies them. "These are the Ashfords," the principal introduces. "Blake's parents, Sophia's classmate." "We have a concern," Mr. Ashford begins. "Your daughter has been, let's say, influencing our son." "Influencing?" James questions. "She keeps talking about equality, social justice," Mrs. Ashford says with disdain. "These dangerous ideas." "Dangerous," Michelle repeats, indignant voice. "You need to understand," the principal intervenes. "Preston Academy has traditional values. We can't have students who are agitators." "Are you threatening our daughter?" James stands up. "Threatening is a strong word," the principal responds. "We're suggesting that perhaps Preston isn't the right environment for Sophia." "She's among the top students," Michelle protests. "Grades aren't everything," Mr. Ashford says. "There's the matter of cultural fit." "Cultural fit," James repeats slowly. "You mean she's not white enough?" "No one mentioned race," the principal hastens to say. "You don't need to," Michelle responds. "It's been clear since we arrived." "Look," Mrs. Ashford sighs. "Let's be practical. You clearly make enormous sacrifices to keep her here. Why not look for a school that's more suited to your profile?" "Our profile?" James asks, his voice dangerously low. "Let's make things easier," the principal offers. "We'll refund this semester's tuition if you transfer Sophia voluntarily." The silence in the room is deafening. "You're trying to buy our daughter out?" Michelle asks, incredulous. "We're offering a solution that benefits everyone," Mr. Ashford says. James and Michelle stand up. "Do you know what you are?" James asks. "Cowards. You're so afraid of a brilliant teenager that you need to expel her." "How dare you!" Mrs. Ashford shouts. "I dare because my daughter is worth more than all the money and prejudice in this room," Michelle responds. "So you won't accept?" the principal asks coldly. "We have a counterproposal," James says. "You'll find out." They leave the room, leaving the others perplexed. "What did he mean by that?" Mrs. Ashford asks. The principal doesn't respond, but for the first time, she looks worried. In the parking lot, James takes out his phone. His hands no longer tremble. "Mr. Henderson?" He speaks into the phone. "This is James Williams. I need you to prepare the documents. Yes, all of them, including the benefactor contracts." Michelle observes him. There's something different in his posture. "James, Are you really going to do this? She asks. Remember when we met? He responds, putting away the phone. I was mopping the floor of that law firm in downtown Manhattan. You always worked hard. Michelle touches his face. I worked and studied at dawn, in secret. James smiles. The janitor's son who dared to dream of something greater. And when I succeeded, I promised no child would go through what I went through. That's why you never revealed. Michelle understands. I wanted to see how they treated our daughter without knowing. Now they'll discover they humiliated their biggest investor. Back in the auditorium, the meeting resumes. The principal is on stage. As I was saying, Preston Academy owes its excellence to our generous benefactors. The doors open. James and Michelle enter accompanied by 3 people in suits. Sorry for the delay, James says, his voice echoing. I needed to gather my legal team. The principal frowns. Mr. Williams, this is a private meeting. I know. James walks to the front. After all, I'm one of this school's main benefactors. What? The principal pales. James hands her documents. James Edward Williams, founding partner of Williams and Associates, and holder of 35% of Preston Academy's funding through JW Holdings. That's impossible, Victoria Vanderbilt shouts. Why? Michelle asks. Because you never checked who was behind the holding company, or because you don't believe a black man can have this power? An elderly gentleman stands up. It's Theodore Preston, the school's founder. JW Holdings, he murmurs. My God, you're the anonymous investor who saved the school from bankruptcy 5 years ago. Exactly, James confirms. And I've documented every act of discrimination I suffered today. Every look, every word, every humiliation. Especially, James projects audio on the screen, this bribery attempt. The principal's voice echoes, We'll refund this semester's tuition if you transfer Sophia voluntarily. Other benefactors begin to stand, outraged. Hartwell, an elderly lady exclaims. You tried to expel our biggest investor's daughter? I didn't know. The principal defends herself. That's the point. Michelle intervenes. It shouldn't matter who we are. No parent should be treated like this. Mr. Preston approaches James. Mr. Williams, I owe you deep apologies, in my name and the institution's. I don't want apologies, James responds. I want changes. Another benefactor, a well-known businessman, speaks up. Hartwell, you've compromised this institution's values. As a benefactor, I demand your immediate resignation. I agree, others shout. You can't do this, the principal protests. Actually, James shows another document. As holder of 35%, I can call an extraordinary board meeting. Now. Sophia enters the auditorium, walking confidently to her parents. Dad? Mom? She asks, though her eyes shine with pride. We're just showing who we really are, sweetheart. James embraces her. Emotional voice. Mr. Ashford tries to protest. This doesn't change the fact that they don't fit in. Enough! Mr. Preston slams his fist on the table. Williams saved this school. His money paid the salaries, the renovations, the scholarships, and you treated him like trash. All benefactors present. A businesswoman stands, vote. Who supports Principal Hartwell's immediate departure? Hands rise throughout the auditorium. Even some parents, ashamed, raise their hands. But what will become of me? The principal stammers. The same thing you wished for my daughter, James responds coldly. Find a place more suited to your profile. And as for Preston's future, Michelle announces, as CEO of the Hope Foundation, we'll implement a complete diversity and inclusion program. With my full support, Mr. Preston declares. This school was born to be excellent. Today I discovered we were failing at what matters most, forming human beings. The principal leaves the stage, defeated. Victoria Vanderbilt and other prejudiced parents follow her. James looks at the remaining benefactors. We have a lot of work ahead. Who's with us? Principal Hartwell, even defeated, raises her chin. You may have money, she spits the words, but that doesn't change who you are. Money can't buy class. A murmur of indignation runs through the auditorium. Class? Sophia steps forward. You want to talk about class after trying to expel me for being black? I was protecting this institution's standards, the principal shouts. Standards your father now wants to destroy with his ideas of diversity. Mrs. Hartwell, the founder intervenes, furious. You're fired. Leave immediately. You'll regret this. She points at James. When this school is full of people like you, the real quality parents will abandon it. Victoria Vanderbilt joins her. She's right. We'll take our children out of here, create our own school where people like you will never enter. Do it, James responds calmly. In fact, I'll make it easy. As main benefactor, I approve full tuition refunds for anyone who wants to leave. Several racist parents begin to stand. But know this, Michelle adds, Preston will be even stronger, because true excellence has no color. A black father who had been quiet in the corner stands up. Mr. Williams, he says emotionally, my son has been bullied here for 2 years. I didn't have the courage to speak up. Thank you. An Asian mother also speaks up. My daughter was called racial slurs by Mrs. Vanderbilt's daughter. When I complained, the principal said it was kids being kids. More parents begin sharing stories. The revolt grows. Enough, the principal shouts. You're destroying everything we built. No, Sophia responds. We're rebuilding. Better. 1 week later, James is in his office when the phone rings. Mr. Williams? It's Mr. Preston. You need to know 47 families withdrew their children. And we have 312 new applications. Families who never felt welcome before. With emotional voice, he says, the school is more alive than ever. Michelle enters the office. Hartwell is suing the school, she informs. Let her try, James smiles. We have the recordings, the witnesses, everything. But there's more. Michelle shows her phone. She created a new school, Excellence Preparatory, only accepts students from established families. Code for whites only. James sighs. Tuition costs double Preston's, Michelle continues. And guess what? The IRS is already investigating them for tax fraud. Graduation ceremony 6 months later. Sophia is on stage, class valedictorian. The auditorium is full, vibrant, diverse. A year ago, she begins, my parents were humiliated in this very place. Today, we celebrate not just our graduation, but a victory. James and Michelle watch proudly. Beside them, families of all colors and backgrounds. We learned that education without humanity is not education, Sophia continues. That excellence without inclusion is disguised mediocrity. The new principal, a black man with a Harvard doctorate, applauds emotionally. And to Mrs. Hartwell, wherever you are, Sophia looks at the cameras. Thank you. Your intolerance gave us the courage to fight. Your arrogance showed us what we don't want to be. Today, Preston Academy has 40% black students, 30% scholarship recipients, and maintains the best grades in the state. Because talent has no color. Intelligence has no social class. And the future has no room for prejudice. The auditorium explodes in applause. James embraces Michelle. Was it worth it? She asks. Every second, he responds with emotional voice. Every humiliation became revolution. The camera shows the auditorium. Where there was once segregation, now there's unity. Where there was prejudice, now there's hope. And you? Will you watch silently when you witness injustice? Or will you have the courage of James and Michelle? Like, share, and comment. What was your experience with prejudice? Together we can create more schools and a world where everyone is welcome. The revolution begins when we say, enough.